Okay, so we are taking here the Indian Express newspaper, and very first page we have a scheme of Maharashtra state where the Pramod Mahajan Gramin Koshal Vikas Kendra. So 511 rural skill centers will be inaugurated in the Gram Panchayats and 350 talukas. So basically, the local level governance is reflected here, and useful infrastructure for the PM Vishwakarma scheme will also be built up. So only this much we can take.
Okay, and one of the important points is that we are focusing upon our traditional sectors when it comes to imparting the skills. So it is not just limited about the modern skills training, it is equally important for even our traditional and agriculture sector also.
Yeah. Supreme Court pulls up two from NCLAT issues contempt notice show the rot there. So observing that the National Company Law Tribunal and National Company Law Appeal Tribunal have got down a row now, the Supreme Court on Wednesday issued notice to two NCLAT members asking them to show cause as why contempt of court proceedings should not be initiated against them for allegedly defying its directions in the disputes related to Phenolics cables. So this shows that we have an integrated judiciary whose decrees and orders have to be implemented even above the executive orders. So if any time any executive authority or agency, even tribunals, goes against the directions of the court, that leads to the contempt of court. And especially we have the Contempt of Court Act 1971, which provides the um, prosecution of anyone on the charges of contempt of court when you um, knowingly tries to fade out the image of the courts as well as of the judges, and intentionally do any sort of act that hurts the sanctity of the courts and its sovereignty. So what we can see that rollout of 579 e-buses, this is a very good number, maybe delayed over subsidy allocations, but the very important thing is how the government is very much focused on curbing the pollution and making the city a greener city amidst the highest population. So what other steps we are taking, that we are creating green belts on the highways, on the roads. We are creating dedicated corridors for the truck lanes so that the normal commuters do not get stuck into the traffic, and because that leads to a lot of traffic pollution. And apart from that, we have FAME scheme under which we are providing the subsidized and institutional support for the electric vehicle. And along with that, we are focusing on hydrogen enabled CNG, ethanol blending, and on various mechanisms like we have the odd even plan in Delhi to curb out the pollution, especially in the winter season, at that moment when it is highly hazardous for the people of Delhi and the surrounding areas.
Okay, so Pravesh, what solution you are going to suggest for this problem because of the subsidy problem or the pressure on the fiscal pressure on the government? What are the possible solutions that this pressure can be reduced or divided amongst different stakeholders as a sustainable alternative so that this plan is not hindered or it is blocked?
Okay, so number one, we have to check out that um, what are the other areas where we are giving subsidies and that is not reaping the benefit. For an example, we are seeing that number of free buys have been given in the electricity, in the water supply, especially in the Delhi context. We are giving huge subsidy, so that subsidy should be minimized and should be confined only to the real beneficiaries. Again, I'm saying that data analytics should be done here so as to recognize the real beneficiary, and subsidy should be provided to only those people, and all that money which is left out from there, that should be invested in this particular area to provide these e-buses in the city. Then number second, we need to check out the we need to work out on the um Delhi Transport Corporation and the cluster buses which runs in the Delhi. So what we have is that women's are free, old age people are free, children's are free, students are free. So everything we are giving it free. So we have to remove this free culture at least you know take 5 rupee ticket from everyone, because that will generate money. If you are giving everything in free, that is gonna cost you a lot of financial burden, which is seeing in these e-buses allocation. So number two is this. And number third, we need to check out the corruption, because various departments are caught in corruption. So health department, we saw in the last couple of days, ED raided there. So these three are the important and the urgent steps I would like to highlight.
Okay, and apart from this, I would suggest that apart from, changing or tinkering with the current subsidy plans which are being given for the current and different plans of the government, one possible solution can be how we can bring in the CSR funds to come up with these buses, so that again we are not compromising with other schemes, other benefits that government is ensuring. So this would be one possible solution.
No, actually, Mansi, we cannot even say that CSR funds are not there. CSR funds are already there. If you check out, so there are more collaborations from the private sector in these kinds of things.
So
The
one
rich people of
possible.
the Delhi,
Hmm.
the rich people of the Delhi who are giving a lot of taxes to the Delhi government, to the central government through direct and indirect taxes. They are giving just
Talking
for
about
these
taxes,
purposes.
not talking about taxes and talking about CSR, but CSR maybe as you're saying ki it is being provided. So CSR mein one problem is ki it is being invested, or that fund amount is being invested in specific areas only. So we need to
Exactly.
ensure that it gets diversified in other equally important areas as well.
Yeah. So now we can take another topic. So what we are seeing, that there is a pledge to fight the drugs menace, and school students at the Golden Temple offered prayers along with the Punjab CM as part of the Hope initiative to fight against drug abuse in Amritsar. 35,000 school children offered prayers at the shrine and pledged for this cause. Thousands of people joined the campaign and offered prayers online, calling it as a first of its kind mass movement against drugs, and it will break the backbone of the menace. So this is, I would suggest that how the political will have come in the forefront to deal with this issue, because till now what we are seeing, that there was no political will as such to remove this problem in the state, but because of the active efforts of the union ministries, union government, judiciary, and the local level governance also. So what we are seeing, that there is a behavioral revolution is taking place in the state of Punjab, when we have seen uh, um, a topple of government who were existing and having a lineage in the state. So let's see what are the other steps the government is going to take. And definitely we have institutional steps, we have non-formal steps to deal with these drugs problems, like on the infiltration we check out, and cross border drug supply also takes place, so we have the security apparatus for that. So this is a good step.
Okay, so apart from this, we are also seeing how sports is being initiated, how that is being encouraged amongst the youth, and we are again seeing results at the ground level also. The youth participation in sports, how that is also keeping them away from this drugs, or how even people who are trapped in this drug menace, they are also coming out of this whole problem with the help of sports. So that's there. And apart from this, we are also
I think I think, Mansi, that we rather along with, obviously these are the measures to control the drug menace, but we need, and especially the government needs to identify the very fact that why actually people of states like Punjab, who are known for their valor in the freedom struggle, who are known for their valor in defense forces, who are known for their valor in sports industries, and the neighbor state Haryana, they are the brothers. They have a very similar kind of traditions, rituals, and everything. One state is very much apprehended of these kind of things, drugs, and one is very much stuck into it, very much caught into it. So
Yes.
we need to identify the very fact that what is the reason that people, the youngsters, are taking drugs, why they are taking drugs.
See, first, I would say that the close proximity with the border of Punjab state. Secondly, I would say associating drug intake with as a symbol of modernity amongst the youth community. So that is another problem which is creating. And thirdly, would be the unemployment that is creating this problem. So these are three main reasons, according to me, which is driving this problem of drug menace.
Okay, so I think for this step, if we have identified, and obviously there would be another reasons also, the poverty, the unemployment, the tragedies in the family. So these were numerous reasons because of which it happens. So what we need to do is we need to focus on the quality education that incorporates the traditional values of Indian society, especially the Punjab is not a state. Punjab is a philosophy. Punjab is a philosophy of courage, adaptability, compassion. So that should be revived into the education, into the traditional family. These problems, cuts out from the roots. And obviously on the upper level, we are taking numerous steps. So these are few measures.
And apart from this, one important step which can have again a greater impact in the mindset of the youth who are, interesting or who are basically taking drugs is people who have successfully fought the impacts of drug, and they can basically come up in social media, as we are seeing also that they're talking about their entire journey, how it impacted their entire life, not just at the individual level, even the familiar level also. So they can talk about the journey, they can speak up. Even when we see that from Punjab specifically, we see a number of singers who are very popular, so how even they can play an important role because they are having huge mass following. So even when they will be
Okay.
taking this leadership role, even that can have again that targeted impact on the youths.
Yeah. And along with the last point I would like to raise is that not only the Pakistan based cross border drugs are coming, it is the if you check the records of the Ministry of Home Affairs, so high percentage of drugs which are coming in Punjab, it is only from the foreign countries. So we need to make our customs department very much robust in tracking, in identifying, in recognizing and prosecuting these cases as fast as possible, and should try to develop some fast track courts to deal with these cases.
Yeah.
Okay, so President launches a bat for the organic farming in Bihar. Agriculture roadmap we have seen, and as we all know that Sikkim is the first Indian state which is recognized as an organic state. एंड सो कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स होती है हमारी ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग में, जैसा कि उनकी क्वालिटी जो है वो अच्छी होती है, बट उनकी जो लुक होती है, जो अपील, मास अपील होती है, दैट इज नॉट एज गुड एंड एज कॉम्पिटिटिव एज वी हैव दी फर्टिलाइजर्स बेस्ड फार्मिंग. सो इसके लिए हमें एक अवेयरनेस जनरेशन करनी चाहिए कि जो दिखता है वो वैसा होता नहीं है. तो obviously the ingredients quality and the compositeness of that product should be realized by the consumers. इसके साथ साथ जो हमारी जो मार्केट्स हैं, स्पेशली जो मेगा मॉल्स हैं, हमारे जो फूड पार्क्स हैं या फूड मार्केट्स हैं, वहां पर हमें स्पेशली इस तरीके की अरेंजमेंट करनी चाहिए बाय द होलसेलर्स एंड द रिटेलर्स, दैट दिस प्रोडक्ट, for an example, if the owner is selling tomatoes, so he should categorize and he should provide two buckets. One is for the organic potatoes and one is for the non-organic, so that the consumer awareness gets increased, because it's all about the awareness. If people will be aware, they will you know uh, get more connected with this. And apart from that, the price also needs to be very much affordable, so that, because today what in the contemporary time, what we are seeing, that organic farming is done on very limited level in India, and when we have a limited amount, so that leads to demand and supply issue, which makes it costly. So we need to decrease the price of the organic farming products. So these are two areas where we can work. And then we have the water conservation is required for that. Climate resilient agriculture will play a role. And again, organic farming के लिए हम corridors बना रहे हैं along natural rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, and Brahmaputra also. And agriculture roadmap, we have Bihar is the top producer of honey, makhana, and fish. And makhana is a rich source of potassium, which is consumed by the elite section of India. And it is also being exported in a very large number. So we can create Bihar potential in this. And Bihar had a key role in making India a developed country, land of Buddha. So traditionalism, spiritualism, and recreationalism is also Bihar is known for. And North Bihar, where there is a water logging for 8 to 9 months in a year, फिश एंड स्पेशलाइज्ड फार्मिंग। लेकिन इसी में हमें देखने की चीजें ये हैं कि बिहार इज आल्सो सस्केप्टेबल टू द क्लाइमेट चेंज लेड natural calamities. For an example, every year we see the flash floods, every year we see cross boundary rivers outflow, which leads to over flooding and destruction of the farmlands, destruction of the property, animal, and um, other items. So that also needs to be taken into account. And for that, we have the disaster management plans of the union government, state government, district government. So that should be properly implemented. Uh, Early weather forecasting system should be very much robust, so that the early weather information should be provided to all the stakeholders and the regulatory and the institutional authorities, so that they can take early steps to control the menace of such things. So, Mansi, if you would like to add something.
I would just add a one point that organic farming, it can become a very important opportunity and alternative for the farmers when it comes to doubling their income. So that is there.
Yeah.
Apart from
So,
when
yeah.
we see more farmers coming with the cultivation or adopting this practice of organic farming, so even when we right now we are seeing that organic products, they are expensive. So even when larger farmers, they take up this initiative, go ahead with it, so it would be also helping in reducing the market prices, the MRPs of the organic farming, which can again help us in closing that gap of nutritional insecurity as well, because it would become little more affordable even for the consumers, so they can again go ahead with buying of more organic food varieties and options.
ओके, सो इसी में हम एक चीज और कर सकते हैं कि ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग में एक जीरो बेस्ड बजट फार्मिंग की तरफ हम बढ़ सकते हैं। उसके बाद हम जो नेचुरल बायो मैन्योर्स होते हैं हमारे, जो काउ डंग एंड अदर आइटम से बनते हैं रादर देन की केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर से, उनका हम यूज जब करते हैं, तो उसके लिए हम जो हमारे नेचुरल जो मिक्स्ड फार्मिंग है उसकी तरफ बढ़ सकते हैं। एंड हॉर्टिकल्चर भी इसमें काफी इंपॉर्टेंट प्ले रोल करता है। तो मिक्स्ड फार्मिंग इज अ गुड स्टेप टुवर्ड्स रनिंग फॉर ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग। एंड इसमें जैसे कि आपने बात की कि हम उनकी डबल इनकम कर सकते हैं। सो इसी के साथ व्हाट वी कैन डू इज वी कैन, इसमें एक चैलेंज ये है कि organic farming is very much susceptible to diseases and pests also. Locust का भी दिक्कत रहता है, अलग अलग तरीके की जो insecticides होते हैं, weedicides होते हैं, उनकी भी प्रॉब्लम रहती है। तो इसके लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि प्रॉपर R&D should be done. And we have national channels like DD Kisan and DD Doordarshan. So that should be provided to the farmers on their doorsteps with the use of social media on their phones. और वहां पर जो हमारे एग्री साइंटिस्ट हैं, उनकी एक ब्रीफिंग होनी चाहिए डेली या फिर हर मंथली या क्रॉपिंग सीजन से पहले, ताकि वो ये बताएं कि किस तरीके से इन चीजों से बचा जा सकता है, किस तरीके से जो होम बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो उन पे स्प्रेड किए जा सकते हैं, ताकि उन पे इन पेस्टिसाइड्स और वीडिसाइड्स का असर ना हो और वो पूरे तरीके से ऑर्गेनिक रहें। तो इसी के साथ वो R&D में भी करने की जरूरत है। सोइल की टेस्टिंग जो है वो हो, टाइमली हो। और जो भी हमारी एग्रीकल्चर फंड्स हैं, जैसे कि पूसा हमारा इंस्टीट्यूट है एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च के लिए, तो वो अलग अलग तरीके की टेक्नोलॉजीज क्रिएट कर सकता है, जिससे कि केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स की तरफ फार्मर्स ना बढ़े और ना उन पे डिपेंड रहे। और इसका एक ओवरऑल इम्पैक्ट देखने को ये भी मिलेगा कि जो हमारी यूरिया और फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी है जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया देती है, उसका भी जो फाइनेंशियल बर्डन है वो कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ज्यादा कम होगा, और उसका जो फाइनेंशियल हमारा जो सेविंग है वो कहीं और सेक्टर में काम आएगी, जैसे कि मनरेगा की बात कर सकते हैं और जल जीवन मिशन की बात कर सकते हैं और उज्ज्वला और जन धन आरोग्य योजना की बात कर सकते हैं। तो इट विल लीड्स टू मोर साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल फंड्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एज वेल एज ऑफ द स्टेट्स।
Okay, and one more thing, as you were mentioning about key challenges be rahenge when it comes to organic farming. So firstly, it is chemical-free farming. So it is, again, as you mentioned, key crops are more susceptible to insects and diseases, to pest attacks. So we can learn from the experience of the first organic state of India, that is Sikkim, from their experiences, from their lessons, and avoid those mistakes which they did.
No, actually, Mansi, I have a issue in this. Uh, India is also known for geographical diversity. So we have a Sikkim. Sikkim is a state which lies in the alpine region also. So according to Sikkim climate, we cannot actually implement the similar kind of things in the Bihar because the climate is somewhat different.
So I'm not
We
saying
can't implement in the Deccan
replicating.
state, in the peninsula.
I'm not saying replicating the exact thing. I'm just saying that there would be at least one single thing for Bihar to learn from the Sikkim's experience that they can use and move ahead accordingly, according to the geography, the climate of Bihar.
Okay, so we can move for more synergized action in this.
Yes.
So OBCs and subcategorization. So as you all know that Mandal Commission, afterwards we saw the reservation for the OBC, which are considered as the backward classes, and 27% reservations they have in the central government jobs, in the educational institutions. But again, the problem is that the beneficiaries who are really deserves the OBC's reservation, they have, you know, bereft of that. And there is a need to subcategorization. There is a need for identifying the creamy and the non-creamy layer in this, which is obviously going on. We have the criterias like of, I think Mansi can better explain this, 8 lakh provisions and, some property issues also we have, ingredients we have. And of OBC reservation is mandated again for the affirmative action under Article 15 Clause 4, and Article 16 Clause 4 allows state to make any provision for the reservation which will not be considered as abrogation of the fundamental rights of Article 16. So OBCs के अंदर जो backwards हैं वो कहाँ कहाँ पर देखे गए हैं? कल्टीवेशन करने वाले हैं, टेनेंट फार्मर्स हैं, एग्रीकल्चर लेबर्स हैं, वेजिटेबल सेल करने वाले हैं, फ्रूट्स एंड फ्लावर्स, कैटल रियरिंग, वॉशिंग ऑफ क्लॉथ्स, कारपेंटरी, ब्लैकस्मिथी, ऑयल सीड क्रशिंग, पोटरी, स्टोन स्मटिंग. But I think that this is also a very generalized statement, because this is not the case that every agricultural laborer really requires the OBC reservation. Because what we have seen that we have a district called Gurugram in the India, in the state of Haryana. So I've heard, and this is a perception. This was a perception till the last decade, that no one actually wants to go to Gurugram because of its condition. It was considered as a mitti ka tila, and there was only one temple, that was Shitala Mata temple, which is known for its valor. And but today, when we are seeing that how the change has come into this particular district, that everyone, even the people of Delhi, even the elite section of Delhi is running towards Gurugram because of its magnificent development. So what we can see, that those agricultural laborers and those people who are washing the clothes, carpentry, stone cutting, it is not necessary that they are poor. It is not necessary that they really require reservation. We need to identify, number one, what are the economic conditions, then second, social condition, then number third, educational backgrounds. Every aspect needs to be incorporated while you are giving such kind of affirmative action to a particular section of community. So Karpuri Thakur formula provided 26% reservation for the OBC. And first OBC commission was headed by Mr. Kaka Kelkar, and it was constituted by the very first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru government on 1953 to identify socially, educationally backward classes. The commission adopted the following criteria: low social position in the traditional caste hierarchy of the Hindu society, lack of educational advancements. Mansi, you can scroll a little.
Above?
No, down. Yeah. Inadequate or no representation in the government. So the things which I was saying, exactly the same, similar things have been cited by the Kaka Kelkar Commission. And the first OBC Commission prepared a list which cited and which categorized 837 of them as most backward out of 2,399 backward caste. Second OBC Commission was headed by BP Mandal. He was a parliamentarian. and it was constituted by the government of Morarji Desai in 1979, and the implementation was done by the VP Singh government. The Mandal Commission identified 3,743 caste and communities as OBCs. So what we can see that earlier the number was in 2000, but when the reservation was provided, obviously everyone would have tried to jump into that category, and that leads to the higher number, and that is 3000. So within 27% reserved for socio-economical backward class, preference shall be given to candidates belonging to the very poorer section. But the problem is, while you are implementing it, is very hard and very challenging to identify and to give the poorer section the deserving, reservation. In Andhra Pradesh, OBCs are divided. Mansi, you need to scroll now up into 5 subcategories. So in Andhra, what we have the mandate is that aboriginal tribes, Vimukta Jatis, nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes. So B categories of professional groups like tappers, weavers, carpenters, ironsmith, goldsmiths. Third is scheduled caste converts to Christianity. D is all other OBC caste and communities. So they have a very broad and comprehensive categorization. In Karnataka and Jharkhand, West Bengal also we have, in every state we have this subcategorization. So what we can learn is that about UPA subcategorization or the union government subcategorization. We will not take the exact name. That is of different party. With land owning OBCs having deserted the Congress in both North and South India, the party was looking for a new base. So obviously the reservation of OBC is also seen with apprehension because of to lure the political vote-based politics as we see in other reservation. So in 2017, a new commission for subcategorization was constituted by the President of India, headed by Justice G. Rohini, which submitted its report, but the contents are not public. So let's see when the government is going to public them, and then a proper rationalization and debate will take place on that.
So basically यहाँ जो problem है that is in subcategorization. So जो again we are having another committee बनाएगी, Justice G रोहिणी commission बनाएगी 2017 में, उन्होंने recently अपनी report submit करी है, but that's not public. So main problem subcategorization में क्या है कि states किस basis पे, there is no uniformity in terms of on what basis you are deciding कि सब categorization कैसे किया जाना चाहिए when it comes to the reservation. So उसमें again it can also lead to some political interferences also in this decision making, which can again be obviously for the political interest of different parties.
I think, Mansi, the government, the issue which you raised, actually the problem is that there is no uniform standard to determine what is the definition of backward in India. Some says it is economical, some says it is educational, some say it is caste based. So unless and until we do not have a proper standard of proper standard definition that on what is the backwardness, क्या मायने हैं आपके backwardness नापने के, तो सब कैटेगराइजेशन जो करना है वो एक अपने आप में एक अपहेवल टास्क बन के रह जाता है. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो यूनियन गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स हैं, इनको कहीं ना कहीं हमारे नीति आयोग की सहायता लेनी चाहिए. हमारे जो नेशनल कमीशन टू रिव्यू वर्किंग ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उसकी रिपोर्ट्स को लेना चाहिए, और इन जो जस्टिस जी रोहिणी कमीशन है, इन सभी की जो एफर्ट्स हैं इनको सिनर्जाइज करके पहले तो ये पता लगाना चाहिए कि आपको बैकवर्ड किस चीज को आप बैकवर्ड मानते हैं. तो फर्स्ट, इफ यू आर एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई द क्रेडेंशियल्स ऑफ बैकवर्डनेस, then it will be able to subcategorize in every reservation, whether it is OBC or it is SC or ST. So once we can take a little above the carbon conundrum, the very first page. Yeah, this carbon conundrum. A climate researcher loses his job because they refuse to take a flight. But does individual sacrifice makes a difference? Ever since the enormity of the climate change dawned on the world, it has been apparent that leading a low carbon lifestyle holds the key to resolve the crisis. Though using the AC a little and eating mullet instead of steak does help, walking the climate talk involves much more than personal choices. And the pace of life today is over determined by fossil fuel based energy, and even climate advocacy outfits the risk falling off the grid. So I think this is not as important. So we can move. तो WTO की अगर हम बात करें तो इंडिया इज सेइंग दैट वी आर very much concerned about the security measures, not trade, and India to peg import checks as security measure, not trade. So India का ये कहना है कि अगर हम import check लगा रहे हैं तो हमें trade के ऊपर हम sanctions नहीं लगा रहे हैं, बट हमारी सिक्योरिटी है उसको अपहोल्ड करने की हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं. तो इंडिया सीज इट डिसीजन ऑफ इंट्रोड्यूसिंग सर्टेन टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस ऑन द इंपोर्ट ऑफ IT hardware as a security measure. So this is a statement given to the WTO, because there are concerns which have been raised by the countries like US, China, South Korea, and Taiwan, which are also leading in this space. And the WTO is not a forum to discuss the security issues, and our plans around checking the import of laptops and personals computers is primarily coming from the safety. So the policy is, however, yet to release. And during a meeting of WTO Committee on Market Access, the US said the decision will have an impact on trade of these products, including US exports to India, once it is implemented. So it is a very uncertain situation what the US, China, and Korea and Taiwan is going to do as far as the trade relations in this particular area is concerned with India, because it is not necessary that your security concerns are acceptable to these countries when the trade comes. But obviously, the government needs to take into account various issues and various measures so as to accommodate their views also and their apprehensions also and our security concerns.
Yeah, so basically in WTO, we say it is developing countries versus the developed countries, as in case of the dispute settlement mechanism, also we are seeing that it is being blocked. The appointment of the members is being blocked by USA. So it is, in a way, it is right now defunct. Apart from this, what can be other concerns of India as far as WTO, the disputes that India have at WTO is, firstly, there is apprehensions from WTO and other advanced countries regarding India's food subsidy program, the public food distribution system that we have. But again, the main objective of WTO is that to ensure a free and rules-based ट्रेड एट द ग्लोबल लेवल. बट इंडिया के जब हम फूड सब्सिडी प्रोग्राम की बात करते हैं तो उन द इंटेंशन और द ऑब्जेक्टिव बिहाइंड दैट प्रोग्राम इज नॉट टू डिस्टॉर्ट द ट्रेड. द मेन कंसर्न इज that we are able to ensure food security, because again the challenge of poverty exists. So that is one of the problems. And another problem is that the dispute settlement mechanism that we are having. So in a way, kahin na kahin WTO में भी it goes like developed versus the developing countries. So developing countries के लिए again we are having certain less restricted or less strict restrictions by WTO when we talk about the agreement on agriculture. There are green subsidy provided, blue subsidy, amber subsidy boxes are there. So these are some of the other areas as far as WTO is concerned.
And along with that, I would like to add on one more thing, that the developed countries are known for putting ban and their apprehensions on the food products which goes from the developing countries, especially from India, on the name of phytosanitary measures.
Yes.
So on the similar standards, India can also raise this issue that we are focusing on techno security measures when such items are coming in our country, because we are also concerned about our security apparatus. So I think this can be a good step.
Yeah. I think we can end it up here, Pravesh.
Okay. So thank you so much, and keep watching this and stay with us. We'll meet you tomorrow with the next newspapers. Thank you so much.